Hey, what up, gang? Yeah, we back, Ghetto Gang, with another video, baby. Hey, man, we finna tap into the untold story of Saved by the Bell, bro. It might get spicy, it might not, but y'all know what I gotta ask you, motherfuckers. How y'all doing? Nah, but for real, though, Ghetto doing pretty straight, man. You know me, like I said, every day I'm grinding, I'm working, I'm in that motherfucker. No days off, man. We gotta get paid, cause I swear, if I'm missing a day off my check, bro, I'll be like, man, I should have just went to work that day. That's why I work all the time, bro. I can't be missing no check, but man, it's enough for me, man. If you're new, appreciate it, like, subscribe, and let the kitty be rolling, bro. Look at that. Hey, shout out to, I think the Juicy Part. Hey, this is probably the second one I done reacted to. Love the content.
Saturday mornings in the 90s.
Hey, hold on. Let me show y'all something. Y'all see the chair? This is my favorite chair. I had this chair for years, bro. It's old. It's just like, it's not a, like, let me show y'all something. Just to let y'all know. I do have, I have a gaming chair, bro. I have a chair. I just don't, it just ain't my vibe, bro. I like that feel my butt.
Grew up during that era in a particular part of the world, a likely staple in your routine that day was tuning in to watch popular American teen sitcom Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
In 1989, a group of 6 pals from Bayside High changed the face of Saturday morning television.
I definitely, man, the only reason why I used to watch Saved by the Bell, like, in the morning before I had to go to school, it used to wake me up and it used to make me mad because I knew once I heard it in my sleep, it was time to get up. So, ugh.
Action sitcom in the world for kids on Saturday morning.
Our competition was Bugs Bunny.
Bugs didn't stand a chance against these photogenic, pimple-free teens. During the early 90s, the Saved by the Bell cast members were the coolest kids in school.
The series, created by Sam Bobrick for NBC, premiered on August 20th, 1989, and quickly became the flagship series in the network's TNBC lineup. TNBC, or Teen NBC, was the former American teen-oriented television programming block that aired on the network from 1992 to 2002. The block featured comical live-action series, primarily in the form of scripted sitcoms and variety series in a similar vein as Saved by the Bell, such as California Dreams, Hang Time, One World, and City Guys, geared toward teenagers and sometimes young adults. Saved by the Bell actually started off as a completely different show with a completely different name. In the spring of 1987, then president of NBC, Brandon Tartikoff, asked executive producer Peter Engel to develop the pilot for a new series inspired by Tartikoff's 6th grade teacher named Miss Bliss. While Sandy Duncan was first considered for the role, the pilot episode for Good Morning Miss Bliss aired that summer, starring British actress Hayley Mills instead. Sandy would be fine though, since she'd go on to star on The Hogan Family, which was actually the conflict that prevented her from doing Saved by the Bell. Fun fact, future teen stars Jonathan Brandis, Brian Austin Green, and Jaleel White also appeared in the Miss Bliss pilot. Unfortunately, before anything had even gotten off the ground, the network had already decided not to pick it up.
That's crazy. Now I want to go back and look for it, cause like I never seen that show, and I ain't never, like, the pilot sound fire cause it had all these celebs in it. Well, the only person I knew out of that was like Steve Urkel. What's his name? Jaleel White. Hey man, bro, we bad, baby. That's crazy.
Tartikoff didn't want to give up on the show, so he made a deal with the Disney Channel to air 13 episodes of the series. The show was then completely retooled, with Hayley the sole remaining cast member from the pilot. The class was changed from the 6th grade to the 8th grade, and the kids
we still talking about this, so she was still on here. Look at this cast. I remember this. I remember little buddy right here. Little buddy, next to Zach, bro. I remember him. And I remember the other, okay.
Focal point. The results of the new and improved Good Morning Miss Bliss, which premiered in the fall of 1988 on the Disney Channel, still produced lackluster results. and was promptly canceled. When Miss Bliss didn't make it in the
Damn.
ratings, Engel went back to the drawing board,
It was canceled
hoping that the
basically
third
twice.
time would be the charm. The series was retooled again, taking 4 cast members from the old show with it: Mark Paul Gosselaar, Dustin Diamond, Lark Voorhees, and Dennis Haskins. The rest were fired.
Okay, the principal.
Some other key changes made included dropping Miss Bliss, switching the school's location and age range from the fictional John F. Kennedy Junior High in Indianapolis, Indiana, to fictional Bayside
They
High
grew up
School
quick,
in Los
within
Angeles,
3
California,
years.
adding a fictional eatery the kids frequented called The Mats, and filming before a live studio audience. Engel gave the whole rundown of how each character was cast in the show's 2002 E! True Hollywood Story, as well as his 2016 memoir, I Was Saved by the Bell, Stories of Life, Love, and Dreams That Do Come True. His casting director happened across Mark Paul and was immediately struck by the teen's charisma, charm, and good looks. After a quick read-through, he was immediately given the role of Zachary Zach Morris.
Zach was
Zachary
the most popular
Zach.
boy in school.
That boy
the
was.
king of the
Hey
balls. He
man,
always had-
look, bro, that boy Zach was so swaggy, but he had all the girl. He was so swaggy in school. That was sad. Oh, but you know who he
Game
had.
or
So he was
scam.
good.
Zach had to look you in the eye and lie right to your face, and you had to love him.
A 14-year-old child model from Los Angeles clinched the role.
Mark Paul Gosselaar came in,
Oh, he
and he
really?
had that twinkle in his eye, and I said to myself, if this kid can speak English, he's Zach.
Fun fact, the character was actually inspired by another high school smart aleck,
Wow.
Ferris Bueller. Even Zach's moments of breaking the fourth wall
neighbors
to
out
speak
here
to the
cutting
audience
grass
were
when they
also
know
directly
recording my
inspired
videos.
by
Crazy.
Bueller. Once the role of Zach was
They don't
squared away,
respect it, bro.
next on the list needed to be his best friend,
But that's okay,
Samuel
bro.
Screech Powers.
Ignore them.
Producers then cast Zach's eccentric sidekick. 11-year-old Dustin Diamond, a newcomer to acting, landed the role of Samuel
Hey, man.
Screech Powers.
It's something about Screech that was just not. I don't like the corniness.
I got the name Screech.
It was kind of funny, some
You
parts.
know what it sounds like when you screech, when you run your nail across a blackboard? The screech. That was where screech came from. That screech could drive you nuts.
Fun fact, Engel later found out that he'd misread his
Facts, well, that nigga was
headshot, and
already
Dustin
doing
was
something.
much younger than the rest of the cast. He was 11 when he was cast, 3 years younger than everybody else. A fact that, had he been aware, might have prevented Engel from casting him. Lisa Turtle was originally written as the complete opposite of the actress who ultimately landed the role.
Next, producers looked for a young actress to fill the
Lisa.
designer shoes of Lisa Turtle.
Lisa Turtle was a princess and was conceived as a Jewish white girl from Long Island.
An unlikely candidate auditioned for the part, 13-year-old child model Lark Voorhees.
She read Lisa
Okay.
Turtle, and I said, that's her. And what do you mean that's her? They said she
Hey, listen. What's her name? Lisa? Well, I thought she was the finest thing back in the day. But finest thing. Woo! That girl so
I said,
bad.
well, so's
Back
Lisa
then,
Turtle.
but I don't know about now,
Hands her
but
down.
I know
And
what
then
she
Mark
looked like.
Voorhees was our,
She
was
was
our
crazy,
princess.
bro.
Fun fact, Lisa got her name from a real girl Engel knew. The school principal, originally named Gerald Belding, was an older, humorless man, and was
Who's that?
played in the Miss Bliss pilot by Oliver Clark. After the show was
Oh,
retooled
okay.
for Disney Channel, Mr. Belding became younger and had a much different sense of
didn't
humor.
know that
His
this
first
shit was
name
on
was changed
Disney
to
Channel.
Richard,
I thought
and
this
he
shit
was
was on
recast
TBS.
with Dennis Haskins.
31-year-old Dennis Haskins, who hailed from Chattanooga, caught wind of the new series. He jumped at the chance to read for the role of Principal Richard Belding.
I called my manager at the time, and she said, oh, they're looking for somebody black and over
Hey,
50.
man.
I said,
I'm always on cloud
oh,
15.
well, 7 auditions later, I got
Black.
the job.
Fun fact, Belding's
Oh,
name
really?
came from a pain-in-the-butt
No one
editor
that close.
Engel worked with at Universal Studios. For Kelly Kapowski, the love interest of both Zach and Slater, producers were able to narrow the field down to 3 actresses.
Okay.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Elizabeth Berkley, and Jenny Garth. Engel had originally met Tiffany in
Who's Jenny
1988 while
Garth?
casting
Bad. B. A. My fault, Kobe. My fault, Nick King. Bad, boy. I thought she was bad too, bro. No cap.
Miss Bliss and was impressed.
Boy, I had to stop again. If I was on that TV show, But please.
with how much
They
her
wouldn't
acting
stand a
improved.
chance.
He really fought to have her on the show, knowing she was going to be a major star. Engel and the other producers didn't want to lose Elizabeth, though, as she was
Hey, look. What's her name? Kelly, Lisa. What is her name? Somebody tell me in the comments. What's her name? What's her name, Gangy? Damn, Ghetto Gang. I don't remember. Hey, she slept on. She was
strongest
slept on
actress
pretty
they had
hard,
seen
bro.
during
Y'all
casting.
sleep on that.
She
Y'all
originally
think
auditioned for the role of
cute.
Karen, a love interest of Zach's on Miss Bliss, but lost the role because she was so much taller than Mark Paul at the time. Engel believed that now that her height was more even with the rest of the cast, she could now fit right in. So, after Elizabeth lost the part of Kelly to Tiffany, the role of strong, feminist, straight-A student Jessie Spano was created just for her.
In the
Jessie.
summer of 1989, the search began for Kelly Kapowski, the
Bro, come on, look
cheerleader
at my
and homecoming
eye, bro.
queen.
Shit.
Producers narrowed the field down to 3 teenage finalists.
We bring in
Piece
Jenny
of
Garner,
hair.
Tiffany Amethyst, and
My bad, gang. I had to get this shit out. It was bothering me.
What came down to it was Elizabeth Berkley and Tiffany. Half the room wanted Tiffany. Half the room wanted Elizabeth Berkley. So Brandon said, why don't we use both of them?
15-year-old
seen him
Thiessen
once.
won the role of Kelly. The Long Beach native was a teen model and former Miss Junior America.
Everybody from Cali,
16-year-old
boy.
Berkeley, a dancer from Michigan, was cast as Jessie Spano.
We had a notion of Jessie as a real brain and this sort of
Look,
compulsive.
bro. Jessie was slept on. Since I know her name, I can say it. Jessie was so slept on, it's crazy, bro.
For perfection.
And she got
The character
older,
of
though,
Albert
man.
Clifford, A.C. Slater, was inspired by Vinnie Barbarino, the character John
Mario.
Travolta made famous on the 70s sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter. He was originally conceived of as Italian-American. However, when all efforts to cast the character were unsuccessful, Engel asked that the part be opened up to other ethnicities. Mario Lopez, a dancer
Okay.
and drummer of Mexican descent from children's television series Kids Incorporated, auditioned and won the role.
I didn't know
Adding
nothing
spice to
about
the mix
this.
was bad boy A.C. Slater.
Slater was supposed to be kind
So
of
you
a
been
John
famous.
Travolta, Barberini type from Welcome Back, Hot Cotton.
For a 14-year-old dancer named Mario Lopez, the audition was a slam dunk.
When he walked in that room, I almost fainted.
And he just had those dimples, you know. the
No,
girls
that
went
girl
crazy.
was
Fun fact, Mario wasn't initially thrilled about landing the role, admitting in his 2014 memoir that he was more interested in chasing girls at the time than auditioning for a role that had barely even been sketched out on paper yet. Slater was also named after a friend of Engel's son in kindergarten. Rounding out the new cast was real-life magician Ed Alonzo as Max, the owner of the gang's frequent cafe hangout, The Max. The role, however, was
That's crazy how that cast look compared to that first one. But it's years into it. They look older, they more mature. That's probably why it even worked. Cause that first cast probably could have worked if they was older. But hey, ain't gonna lie, this cast was. Hey,
only last through
I
the
ain't
end
really
of the
watching
first
it 'cause I wasn't
season.
even born
In a
yet.
meeting
I
with
probably was
Engel,
watching
Tartikoff,
it
and
when
other
it was.
writers and producers, the name Saved by the Bell was suggested
When
for
I
the
wake
title
up
of the
in
show.
the morning,
While
I'll
Engel
get up,
hated
I'll
it,
get up,
Tartikoff loved
I'll make
it.
it
It
on
stuck
time.
and filming commenced. The theme song was written by composer Scott Gale against the implicit instructions of Engel. Though Engel had not been able to keep the show from being named Saved by the Bell, he was determined to prevent the phrase from showing up in the theme. He gave explicit orders to his team of composers that he would not accept any theme that referenced the title, and the group agreed to leave out the phrase. Later, he listened to the first few composers, and though they followed his instructions, the songs were nothing special. Gale played his song next, and though he explicitly violated Engel's instructions, Engel couldn't help but admit it was the best and perfect for the show.
They didn't.
Fun fact,
Gale,
the theme
well,
song was
scale.
performed by
We
actor,
ain't got
recording
time for
artist,
that,
and
bro.
producer Michael
Don't be trying to
Damian,
demonize
best
time
known
for
for
young
his
kids, get
role
on the come
as
on,
Danny
come.
Romalotti on the soap opera The Young and the Restless. Now, after a lot of hard work in a relatively short period of time, Saved by the Bell was ready to go.
What's
The
she throwing up
critics
there?
weren't kind. They came out in full force and mercilessly panned the show. They even took personal shots at the cast. Producers, however, were determined to keep things afloat. So, to engage viewers, the show addressed coming-of-age issues that every teenager faced. The valuable moral lesson soon became a trademark of the series. The love triangle between Zach Kelly and Slater also drove the weekly storylines. By mid-season, the formula had worked. Saved by the Bell had quieted the doubters and gained a huge teen following. As most of the cast was enjoying all the amazing and crazy experiences that their newfound stardom was providing, one person in particular was not. Dustin had a hard time fitting in with the rest of the teens. A lot of that was due to the fact that, at the start, the others were teens and he wasn't. By the end of the first season in 1990, the show was a bona fide hit, ranking #1 with the teen market. They were on the cover of every teen magazine, and tons of merch like t-shirts, board games.
Imagine being the youngest on a show that's like at its top tier, and like all these other people, teenagers and shit, and you a teeny bopper. You can't do nothing. Like, you can't do nothing. They probably out having fun, drinking. They don't want to burn you because you ain't old enough. Like, but the thing is, you gotta look at the bright side though. You on the show, you making money, you young, you got your future ahead of you. Hey, where I'm from, I'ma take it and run with it. You did, ghetto, ain't gonna lie to you, baby. Hold on, man. I ain't doing all the state right there. I ain't got time. I had way too much shit. Hey, real talk. Y'all ever had too many apps open on y'all? Oh shit. Too many apps open on y'all phone?
Dolls and
So I had
bones.
like
By the
12
following
tabs
year,
open
the
on
show
them
was
both.
launched into syndication. After filming what was originally intended to be the final season of Saved by the Bell, NBC decided
Hey,
to
let me tell y'all
order
some shit about me, bro. Fun fact about Ghetto. Your boy Ghetto reacts. For one, I don't really cut too much. I ain't gonna cut too much out. But like, we gonna keep it raw. We gonna keep it raw. We gonna keep it real. Shit.
episodes, but there was a
Real
slight
raw,
problem.
raw.
Tiffany and Elizabeth had already moved on and were
Raw,
absent,
real.
save for the series finale when they randomly end up present at graduation. But the stars didn't actually return. It was filmed before their deals were up.
What?
Engel revealed, "We had already shot the
okay.
graduation, and that was supposed to be the end. We were supposed to end and not do another season. So we shot the graduation, but Tiffany had an offer to go with Aaron Spelling for 90210, and Elizabeth wanted to do movies. So we didn't re-sign them because we couldn't re-sign them." Though producers knew they could not replace Kelly and Jesse, they also knew that they couldn't
Facts.
leave Lisa as the only girl on the show. Enter new character Tori Scott, played by Leanna Creel. Tori was a cool but pretty biker girl who would also serve as an initial nemesis for Zach and later love interest. Rather than develop a second new character, the producers decided to rely more on minor recurring characters. Fun fact, Tori was named after Tori Spelling, the daughter of iconic television and film producer Aaron Spelling.
Oh my God. I forgot about that other. I knew nothing about none of this shit. I did it crazy. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Kate, the real one, also had a guest role on Saved by the Bell as Screech's girlfriend, Violet Bickerstaff. Unsurprisingly, putting a bunch
It
of teenagers
was her.
together resulted in a whole lot of romance on the set. As Mark Paul told People in
Exactly,
2009,
bro.
all of us
That's what
dated
I'm
at one
saying,
point or
bro.
another. It was incestuous. Sometimes the girls would gang up on the guys. Tiffany and Elizabeth would hate me, and then they'd hate Lark because Lark was talking to me, and Mario was supposed to side with someone. In Peter Engel's book, he revealed that Mark
Damn.
Paul and Tiffany hooked up after their characters had already broken up. When their tryst was over, Tiffany moved on to Mario. That relationship didn't last very long either, since she caught him cheating during a live taping. He was in his dressing room making out with
Whoa. This is crazy of events. He was in the dressing room making out with an extra. No, Tiffany came in catching him red-handed. She was wearing his Letterman jacket in a rage, ripped it off and threw it in front of him. After that, she ran out. Shh, deep. Why would you?
and
with an
Tiffany
extra?
came
That's
in,
crazy,
catching
bro.
him red-handed. She was wearing his letter jacket, and in a rage, ripped it off and threw it at him. After that, she ran out.
Hey man, Who just said that better, bro?
Fun fact, the
Yeah.
most serious relationship among the cast was Mark Paul and Lark, who dated for 3 years during the series run. Being young, dumb, and full of
Yeah, facts. Hormones. That's what I'm saying.
fun,
bro.
partying was also on the agenda. Tiffany has admitted the first time she sipped alcohol was with Mark Paul in Paris during a press tour. He also told ABC News he did the time-honored showbiz tradition of using his celebrity to get into adult clubs at the age of 16. He insisted that he never abused the power, though, and that they really were a bunch of good kids. Like so many child stars, and let's be real, adult stars too,
Something
the cast of
happened.
Saved by the Bell got screwed by the deal they signed. At the time, no one suspected that the show would become a huge phenomenon. Being young and naive, the stars signed dodgy contracts, meaning they didn't make anywhere near as much money as
What
you'd
they
think.
signed?
And just to twist
This is why you have to have parents or somebody that's behind you reading over stuff. But sometimes in the 90s, it just didn't matter. Like, I think in the 90s, you just had to, like, you just had to just take what you could get because back then it was more building. Right now, I feel like it's just more independency. Back then, I just, like, look, I'm on TV, I made it, mama, let's get it. I get it.
life a little
I was
more,
doing the same
the
thing,
cast
probably
doesn't make
not
any
doing
money from the show's syndication nor from its merchandise.
That's crazy. So what they
Mark
make
Paul
money
touched
from?
on the issue during a 2019 appearance on Watch What Happens Live. We made really bad deals. Poor deals back then. It is what it is. You move on, you learn. Saved by the Bell spawned 2 spin-off
So they not
series.
making
Saved
no
by the Bell:
money?
The College Years, which followed several of the characters to a post-secondary institution, and Saved by the Bell: The New Class, that followed a new group of students
never
at
seen
Bayside.
that.
The former only lasted 1 season, from 1993 to 1994. It featured Zach, Slater, and Screech
I
from the
did
original
watch,
cast attending the
Hey, I like that college one that Joe was told.
original California University.
Kelly.
Kelly later joined the
It's 'cause they
cast
was
after
older,
the pilot.
bro.
Even though it was never as popular as the original series, the latter fared much better than the College Years, lasting 7 seasons from 1993 to 2000. Dennis reprised his role from the original series
never
once
watched
again
it.
as their principal, Mr. Belding. Following the cancellation of the College Years, Engel asked Dustin to reprise his role as Screech, who was returning to Bayside on
So you telling me that the principal has been rocking throughout the whole 2000 and what? This man been there since 1989 down to 2000 or something. The real GOAT. I bet he didn't sign a stupid deal because he was already grown. He should have been telling them kids though, hey, get with somebody. He ain't give a damn.
as Mr. Belding's administrative assistant. Saved by the Bell also spawned 2
How long
TV
we got?
movies,
20?
1992's Saved by the Bell Hawaiian Style, and 1994's Saved by the Bell Wedding in Las Vegas. The former movie followed the 16s from the show as they vacation in Hawaii with Kelly's grandfather, Harry Bannister. They soon discover Mr. Belding also happens to be there, and they all get caught up in a plan to save Harry's resort from a greedy land developer. The College Years actually came about due to its success. The latter movie would pick up where the events of the final episode of The College Years left off. Now, here are some more fun facts about Saved by the Bell. Another potential name for the show was When the Bell Rings. Mark Paul is a natural brunette who had to bleach his hair blonde every season. Mario grew his hair long for the role because he wanted to look like Mel Gibson
What?
in Lethal Weapon.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Blonde
Let's
every
backtrack. I
season.
had to-
Mario grew his hair long for the role
dyed
because
his
he
hair
wanted to
blonde?
look like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Elizabeth's hair also took a beating. It was constantly teased, and an entire can of hairspray had to be used on her locks for each episode to achieve her voluminous curly do. Even though the episode Jessie's song, where she gets hooked on caffeine pills and has a breakdown in Zach's arms as she sings the Pointer Sisters hit,
I remember
I'm So
that.
Excited, is widely ridiculed as cheesy, melodramatic, and unintentionally funny, it was actually going to be a lot more serious. Jessie was originally going to be hooked on speed, but the network stepped in and told the producers to tone it down. Dustin's first kiss was with co-star Tori
Yeah, I
Spelling.
remember that episode.
While
She
Dustin
was
had a lot
tripping.
to say about Mario in his book, Mario had some stories of his own to tell about Dustin
What?
in his memoir. Mario recalls Dustin
What they
leaving
say about each
Polaroids
other?
of his genitals all over the set for anyone to discover.
That's crazy, boy. Taking pictures of your meat, leaving himself around them. That's Sorry,
Peter Engel wanted the
bro.
set of the show to
That
be
is
kept as
nasty
clean
as hell.
and PG as possible. The cast were told to maintain good
Oh, it's too
behavior,
late, buddy.
and a no swearing rule was
It's too
implemented.
late.
Apparently, the motivation behind this was the result of Engel's past
late.
as a drug addict.
It's
Thankfully,
too late.
he'd gotten clean and found God 10 years before the show aired. Monday through Friday, I would wake up and smoke
Found
2
God.
joints, pop speed to get through work, snort a gram of cocaine, and take a handful of Quaaludes to fall asleep. Lionsgate Home Entertainment.
Another Quello should love me in the morning. Ain't that right, Fry? That's crazy. The nigga said.
Released all 4 seasons of
Boy.
Saved by the Bell on DVD in North America.
Come
However, the
on,
episodes
Steve.
on these and
Come
all
on,
subsequent
man.
releases are the edited versions,
That's why he ain't got no
as
hair.
used in syndication, with scenes cut for time. They also released the 2 feature-length TV movies on DVD in 2007. Between 2012 and 2013, Lionsgate released a
Oh,
complete
yeah, when they
series
got
set
married, I
in
think.
Canada and the US. After the end of Saved by the Bell, many of the cast members were able to move on to do other great things. Dennis finally graduated
Okay.
college in 2015 at the age of 65, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Theater from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Mark Paul has starred in many television shows, including NYPD Blue, Franklin and Bash, and Mixed-ish. Mario
Wow,
went on to
that
do a
is
bit of
him.
everything:
I don't watch that,
TV,
though, but I have
films,
seen him.
and Broadway. He's found
He
steady
everywhere.
success as a host of reality-based
It's 'cause he got
programming
that
like
look,
The
boy. He
X
got that
Factor,
pretty boy look.
Extra, and Access Hollywood. Tiffany's done some film, but mostly TV work, with her standout role being Valerie Malone on Beverly Hills 90210 for several seasons. She even hosted her own cooking series on the Cooking Channel called Dinner at Tiffany's, in which she prepared the meal with a different group of celebrity friends each episode. Some people, though, really struggled, professionally and personally. Lark had a hard time maintaining her momentum in the business, and as a result,
No. What happened? What happened? What happened to you? Girl. Oh my God. Like, what did I just see? Bro, what am I looking at? Why'd she go barking? Hey, what happened to her? We excited, bro. She on that stuff.
her acting resume has gone blank for years at a time. In 2020, she revealed on The Dr. Oz Show
Oh,
that
she
she
looked way
has
bad. Okay.
schizoaffective disorder, a mental health condition which is marked by a combination of schizophrenia symptoms as well as mood disorder symptoms. While Elizabeth's career is still active, she suffered one of the most embarrassing big screen lead role debuts in history with the notorious flop 1995's erotic drama thriller film Showgirls. As for Dustin, well, life
I ain't
wasn't
like that
kind to
movie.
him
I
at
seen it
all
before.
after the show ended. He released an X-rated tape, something he calls his greatest regret, went to jail for several months, and violated the terms of his probation, leading to another arrest. Most famously in
If anybody out here watched this man screech and seen his meat, what are you doing? What are we doing here? I would never click on a video with this man's face on. No man. No man. All right? Especially that, bro. That shit sounds...
2009, he published an inside story of the show's cast
Making me
and crew from his point of view, titled Behind the Bell. The book paints an unflattering portrait
book
of
probably
many of
good.
his colleagues and their alleged backstage behavior. Its accuracy was forcefully
I'm pretty sure they made him say stuff that wasn't true too. But why y'all gotta throw people under the bus for? Like y'all supposed to be cool. No, it's all a
disputed
lie.
by his former castmates.
The show's
Dustin
a lie.
later disclaimed responsibility for much of the book's content, blaming his ghostwriter for fabricating salacious stories. Some stories in the book include a claim that when Tiffany's boyfriend Eddie Garcia guest starred on the show as movie star Johnny Dakota during the anti-drug episode No Hold with Dope, she was simultaneously hooking up with both Mario and Mark Paul. Allegedly, after going from one dressing room to another, right under his nose, Eddie eventually found out and broke up with her when the show wrapped that same week. Dustin wrote that Mark Paul took steroids while filming.
What?
While Mark Paul did bulk up a bit
I
as the
believe
show
it.
progressed, there's been no evidence
Yeah, I
to
believe
corroborate Dustin's claim that it was due to drugs instead of Mark Paul just naturally growing up. About himself, Dustin said that
I
he
don't know,
was
'cause he was
intimate
pretty
with
skinny, but who knows?
2,000 women, one of them being NBC's vice president of children's programming, Linda Mancuso, who was 18 years his senior.
Okay, Screech. So you bash everybody in your book. But you was the one out here just doing everything with everybody, yo. It was all good your way. Nothing bad happened with you. Get out of here, dog.
Claim that was found to have some corroboration
Oh, man.
backing it was the one
Oh, we gotta
about
hate on each
Mario
other.
date raping a woman. The LA Times reported that police
Ooh.
were investigating an 18-year-old's claim that she was raped by 19-year-old Mario while at his house. After that news became public knowledge, another woman also came forward to say that he'd done the same thing to her 2 years prior.
No
Prosecutors ended up dropping the charges due to a lack of evidence to support either allegation. Dustin claimed in his book that NBC's lawyers got involved and paid the woman around $50,000 to keep quiet. Due to the tell-all, when the cast of Saved by the Bell reunited for a photo shoot with People that same year, Dustin was not invited. His image was also edited out of the 1989 cast photo that was used on the cover and set to show how the cast looked 20 years later. Dennis admitted after some time that he was upset about not getting a call to join the reunion. Dustin's book would also apparently serve as partial source material for Lifetime's The Unauthorized Saved by the Bell story, which the other cast members disapproved. In 2015, the cast appeared on a skit on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, while episodes of the program were taped in LA. Mark Paul, Mario,
Well, Lisa.
Elizabeth,
That wig he got on is crazy. Mario still look the same. That's crazy. Like Tiffany, everybody just look old. Oh my God. That's what I'm saying. What's her name? Jessie. Look at Jessie, bro. She looks the same, but she's bad still. Zach, I don't know. You probably was on that stuff. And I don't like, where's everybody at, man? Like, let's stop the hatred and just...
Annie and Dennis
Come
all
together.
participated. Lark and Dustin did not. While Lark's publicist said her
Why?
intense work schedule prohibited her from participating, Dustin's attorney told E! News he had prior commitments. Just months before the reunion, Dustin had pleaded not guilty to stabbing a man in December 2014. He would later serve a 4-month sentence after a jury found him guilty of carrying a concealed weapon. However, he was arrested weeks after his release for violating his probation. Dustin passed away in 2021 after a battle with lung cancer. He was
What? Man, R.I.P. Screechy Man. Screechy Poo. I ain't even know that, man.
4 years old. In 2020, the Saved by the Bell reboot debuted
Well,
on
probably was
Peacock.
stressed out.
Over its 2-season run, almost all the core cast members would make appearances, except Dustin
Oh.
and Dennis.
Wow. Man, I gotta go watch this, man. I don't know nothing about this. I gotta go find this episode, this turn. Hey, man. Okay, of course Dustin the nigga he passed, but why y'all ain't invite my boy Dr. Phil again, that nigga, man? The principal guy, man. Y'all start doing it. Stop being dirt. Oh man. Why we had to end it without Buddy being in the scene? It's all good because they filled with a pocket full of grit. I don't know what to talk about, man. I'm high to the sky. Hey, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in on me. Like and subscribe if you new. Ghetto Game out there, big. Your boy Ghetto finna roll out, bro. I'm hungry. I want some Wendy's 4 for 4.